Well, as we head towards the business end of this 16th season as Southend United, we may have expected that we still hadn't won the Champions League yet. What we probably didn't expect is that the only other trophy we didn't have in the cabinet of the major ones we take part in every year is the Carabao Cup. Today, for the second year in a row, we have a chance to change that in the final. We fell at the final hurdle for the first time last year. Can we put it right this time, though, against our most familiar foe of the season? Yes, hello, and welcome along to part 141 of Saving Southend with me, Daniel. We're going to ignore the fact that yet again we're seventh in the Premier League and falling at a rate of knots because we're not playing. We've got games in hand and we'll catch that up a bit later on. We're certainly not going to win a title again, but we'll get ourselves in that top four. Today, it is all about the side that are in fourth place, and that team is Newcastle United. Armed with Arne Slot, who we've already faced four times on camera this year, winning the first in the Community Shield, but not winning since. Two defeats in the Premier League and a draw in the Champions League at home has left us in a position where we're not quite as confident as we'd normally be against them. Today we faced them at Wembley Stadium, a stadium we had a terrible record at last year. We lost the league and FA Cup final. We want to put that right today. If you're looking forward to seeing if we can, as well as seeing us continue our push towards Champions League history, as we host Juve, the side we put out in the semi-finals last year at home, and please do put a thumbs up on it. If we go through to the schedule, we have only played one game since that dramatic quadruple header over the last two episodes on camera, and that was an FA Cup tie at home to lower league opposition, which we duly won pretty comfortably. Elmi and Carr with goals early in the second half. And in the end, it was a case of trying to rest as many people as possible and give a few minutes off to others as well. So you can see on the bench, Gouliard came on, Curley, Magwood, Humphreys, players that won't often feature for us. We're good to see a couple of the youth players getting into it. For now, it is continuing the trend of cup games only. It'll be 7 in a row before Chelsea at home, then another 2 in a row after that. We are losing ground in the Premier League. And while it doesn't worry me massively, in terms of league finishing position and that, it does concern me about fixture congestion, because if you go and look at April, before the Champions League games get put in, if we get through against Juve, we will already be playing every Tuesday but the last one. So what on earth happens if we get through to a quarter-final or a semi-final of the Champions League? I don't know. We'll worry about that a bit later on, because today I want to at least wrap up one of the two trophies we've not won yet in this save. And the Carabao Cup, if we win it, to be honest, it'll make it a decent season, even if all else fails, because getting a trophy on the board, filling that cabinet, and keeping Southend as a winning machine is really crucial to our success. A 4-2 win for Arsenal keeps them in the top four today. We're not going to worry about the Premier League. We're going to focus on this, where our former player, João Gomez, is starting at right back again, and there are plenty of other quality players. But as I've mentioned before, this Newcastle team is beyond needing introduction this year. You've seen them almost as many times on camera as you've seen my team. Let's have a look at a team selection, because this is the team that played in midweek, includes a lot of backups, players who are now ineligible, and players who, let's be honest, were just building fitness rather than looking at playing. So we're going to go and make adjustments. We're going to have big decisions in certain areas. Bettini is fit in goal. He will probably come in. But otherwise, I've got to make a few pretty important decisions here. Back in a moment once I've done so. Well, I think we would describe this team as a few bold calls, if we're being honest. We go to Wembley Stadium with our top two scorers for the season on the bench, a striker in a goal drought starting, and two players with the heaviest match loads involved starting and on the bench respectively. Those players are Adamson and Muscat. Adamson has just hit form after coming back. Muscat was the hero in the semi-final. I brought back Bettini in goal, as well as Memic at right back. The rest of the back four you could probably pretty much predict. Rakowski, Herbert and Carlos. Robertson on the right with Adamson on the left. Bernberg and Torres in the middle. And up front, I've gone for it. It's Ashley Carr alongside Joe Wills. The man who never scores and the man who doesn't often deliver in the big games. My thoughts are basically, Fair and Ivanov will be on at the end if we need them. The bench is strong. We have had to leave out Yucolano. Marciano is not back from injury. But otherwise, we couldn't ask to be much stronger. So we're in a good position to try and win this one. Will it be second time lucky in the Carabao Cup final? And will we finally win this trophy after 14 years of trying and 16 years at a save? Well, Wembley Stadium awaits the teams as Aaron Moore comes in at centre half for Newcastle, a top class player, we know that. Even on the bench, they've got the likes of Simpson and Yuri, who have been superstars over the years and both transfer targets of ours in years gone by. But this team, we know the strength they've got in attack. We know we always have entertaining games against them. It's going to be a real difficulty, this, isn't it? A bit like last year's FA Cup final, because we normally have terribly boring finals at Wembley and exceptionally exciting games against Newcastle. Which will it be? Let's get the boys motivated and head to the first half and find out. Well, half an hour gone here. We are dominating the stats. You can see it. We've had all the shots on target. We've had more of the ball, more of the set pieces. Not like us to have 7 corners and not be a threat. But again, it is 0-0. It is highlight free. And it is turning into one of our cup finals, despite being against a team that normally entertains. We're going to say, I don't like what I've seen from this team. We've not shown enough in front of goal. And maybe that's why we had Fair and Ivanov on the bench. They've got goals between them. And hopefully they can deliver the goods when we need it. But we need to be 0-0 then. As Beneka gets in. Back to Gomez, our former player. Goes from miles out. If that had gone in, it would have just summed up our luck in this competition. 5 minutes gone in the second half. They've still not managed a shot on target yet. But we've not really seen anything happen from ours. We've got, yes, loads of attacking set pieces. 10 corners now. We've not seen a goal threat from them. And it's Newcastle on the front foot again. This time from a set piece themselves. Rakowski heads away. Adamson chases. He's not able to do much with it here. Gets down the right into the box. And we've gone 1-0 down. So the first shot on target we've conceded. It's happened again. It's happening in every episode. Every shot on target's going in at the minute. I'm taking both of the front 2 off. We're going for Ivanov and we're going for Fair. I'm also going to bring on Vasquez for Robertson because Adamson is playing the better of the 2 wingers. And we're going to give it another 10 minutes. This has been an infuriating hour because you can see we're the better team and we're somehow throwing it away. Again, 1 shot on target, 1 goal. The familiar pattern emerges as Vasquez working to win the ball back. Carlos gives it to Bernberg. Ivanov, the top scorer. We don't really want him on the ball all the way back there. Herbert goes for the switch of play to Adamson, who can now charge at the defence. Cutting in from the right on his left, finds Ivanov and Fair. Wide to Vasquez, 2 in the middle. Teddy Ivanov, he's missed. Oh, if Teddy Ivanov's missing that, we're done. We might as well just pack up and go home. I'm going to bring Kivrakidis on for Bernberg. Adamson struggling as well. We'll give it 5 more minutes. And then I'm going to throw on the final striker. It's going to be Liban Elmi. He's going to replace Adamson. We're going to push him up here. We're going to put Nana Fair out to the right, who I think is the best at that role. And then Elmi up front with Ivanov, I think is going to be the duo. This is what we've got to do. If we get to the final 10, we'll chase it. But at the moment, for all of our dominance, for the fact we've been the better side, we have got a continuing theme in this save. One, a curse with the Carabao Cup. But also the fact that if we concede a shot on target at a minute, it's going in, no matter what. 1 shot, 1 goal for Newcastle. And we're just trying to hammer the door down now. We're peppering the box with crosses. We can't find a solution. As Fair puts it in, Memic with another header from a set piece. And it's comfortably over the bar. That is the 12th corner of the day. We've gone attacking. I can't do anything else. I've chucked on an extra striker. I've gone on the front foot. There's 6 minutes added. There's no late drama. The expected goals, 2.5 to 0.5. 1 shot on target for Newcastle. And a goal. The Carabao Cup curse continues. I don't know what's happened the last month or so to the defensive record. I've mentioned it time and time again. And I know you're probably getting frustrated with me in the comments. I sound like a broken record. But how have we suddenly gone from keeping a clean sheet every game, conceding every shot on target we face? How have we not made something of that? I mean, the expected goals was 2.5. We've got key highlights on. I only remember seeing 1 decent chance all match, the Ivanov one. So where on earth were the rest of them? Was it just a minor accumulation or something wrong with the stats? Maybe proving how worthless it is. We lose another Carabao Cup final. I swear we're never going to win this competition. What a weird one to be cursed in. The smallest of the big 4 on paper. And we just cannot find a way. Not good enough, but a Champions League in a few days' time. We've got to bounce back because that's the other one we haven't won. And I don't want to be going out of that one early. We're not going to win the Premier League this year, so we've got to go on a run in something. Well, I know we could still technically win the FA Cup, but I would argue winning the Champions League is the only thing that makes this season a success now. Having missed out on one of the two that has been eluding us the whole save, let's see how we go in this one. It's Arsenal v Manchester United we've really got to watch out for, because when we play the English sides, we fall apart. We've also got to be wary of Liverpool, who have got through, or look like they're going to get through. Brighton look like they're on their way out. Let's focus on our job, though, because this team that played in the final, to be honest, they did really well. It was a good performance, but we just didn't have that cutting edge. I'm going to go strong again. We'll rest people against Chelsea. This is now the priority for the season. Luis Vasquez will come back in on the left. Yacolano, Andre and Vite all on the bench. What else can we do in the squad? We're going to go Kivrakidis and Muscat in an all-change midfield. Muscat is randomly declining now, all of a sudden. We're also going to keep the back four. They were fine. Robertson's not been great, but we've got to be careful. And up front, I'm going to go for Nana Fair over Ashley Carr, who again has flattered to deceive. Do I bring in Teddy Ivanov? I mean, even he's gone a couple without now. I feel like I've got to play Joe Wills into form. We're going to get him in from the start. This is our 11 then. How many changes is that? It is Muscat, Kivrakidis, Vasquez and Fair. 4 changes, all in attacking areas. To see if we can do the job. At home to Juve, can we get ourselves in a position to get through? Well, Nuno's side will be a strong test and opposition for us. We came up against them last year. Camwenho in a semi-final almost cost us our place in the final showpiece event. And of course, they've got Sindri alongside him, who's a magnificent star. It's a very good team they've got. So let's just get through to it and try and get a little bit of revenge, because they beat us in the group stage this year, or the league phase, depending on what you want to call it. Let's go into the first half, past the Champions League music, and hope Steve Tilson Park, which suddenly is looking a lot bigger now, is ready to compete with this. And more importantly, have the lads recovered from 4 days ago? And can we face a shot on target without conceding? There are a lot of questions to be answered, as Vasquez has got the corner early on, up towards Herbert, heads into the back of the net. I mean, I'm delighted, but why couldn't you have done that from one of the 12 corners at the weekend? How many chances did we have in that one? This time, first corner, and in you go. Just doesn't make sense. As Wills gets the ball on the left-hand side, Nana Fair will chase it down. Again, not the best play, and still not the striker scoring regularly, bar Teddy Ivanov. So still a few causes for concern back there, as here come Juve down the right, into the box, it's 1-1. And guess what's happened, everyone? I guess you could have worked it out before, couldn't you? First shot on target we faced, and what's happened? Yes, we've conceded from it. This is becoming a joke. I'm not even having fun anymore. Every shot on target is going in. Is there a record in English football for how many shots on target in a row a team's conceded? Because for every single one to go in is almost quite mesmerising, to be honest. There's 10 minutes to the break. We've got no advantage in this tie. It's not been a good game, to be fair. The Juve look like possibly putting us out, and this season could peter out. We're coming under a bit of pressure. We're starting to get talk from players of losing trust in management. The board are complaining because we're 7th, not acknowledging that we've got 4 games in hand. There are a few things that might trip us up along the way here. I wonder if we're going to come under job pressure, as Muscat breaks forward down the left-hand side, finds Vasquez. He can run in behind. Can we start putting it right here? The early cross. He didn't go to the byline. Nana Fair heads it wide. Oh, I missed Dion Kranic. I can now see why Real Madrid paid 170 million. Because without him, we don't have that big game cutting edge. Bettini's now picked up a knock to his shoulder. We'll take him at half-time. Or we might just play him and then deal with it at the weekend. As Vasquez crosses, Herbert's up again. And at least the centre-half scoring. That's all I can say here. The 2 strikers have been crap. Defensively, we've been appalling. But Lewis Herbert, he keeps scoring from set pieces. And at the moment, that is the relief we need. 0.4 expected goals, a very poor display. But 2-1 up, and we don't deserve it. Now let's try and make the most of it. Capitalise. At least try and get one of the strikers scoring. I know from history, if Wills can just tap one in this game, he'll go on and score 5, 6, 7 in the next 5. I need it to happen as Vasquez in. Herbert's on a hat-trick here. Lewis Herbert's just scored a hat-trick. I mean, it's not the most conventional way to get through. Your centre-half just scoring from corners, but a hat-trick for Lewis Herbert, the first one of his career. And it's coming a Champions League last 16 match. I'm not going to complain. But God, this is getting weirder, isn't it? What a bizarre season it's turning into. And I'm going to take the two strikers off again. They've been appalling. Aguiman will come on at right back. In midfield, we're not going to do anything yet, but we are up front going to go for Carr and for Wills. Straight swaps from what we did at the weekend. I think I said Wills there. I meant to say Ivanov. Muscat will come off in midfield for Ivo Torres. And we'll save one in case of injury. 3-1. Can any of the strikers score? Or at the very least, can we avoid conceding again? We've faced one shot on target today. Predictably, it's gone in. If we face a second, I think we all know what's going to happen. So we need to be quite cautious at the back here. As here is a Juventus corner. We know what's coming. Aguiman heads away. We don't face a shot on target. And Ashley Carr can break. He's got support to his right. Poor ball to Robertson in truth, who didn't make a great run. And he puts it into the middle. Carr's offside. And you know he's offside because he's finished it lovely. If Ashley Carr had missed that, you could have bet your bottom dollar he was onside. Jorg Robertson is going to come off now. Ucolano will be the final sub. And that goal predictably is disallowed. Ashley Carr only finishes when it really doesn't matter. Well, it remains 3-1 in what has been far from a vintage performance. I mean, from open play, we've created next to nothing, if we're being honest. Ucolano's working down the right to try and change that now. We could get one from open play. I'd at least feel a little more confident. Torres hits the post. It's away as far as Carlos. Torres again. Straight at the goalkeeper. But thank God for Lewis Herbert. And why couldn't he have done that at the weekend? That's the other question. A 3-1 victory puts us in a good, if not unassailable position. And we are looking like progressing a little bit in the Champions League. We're not far enough clear that I can't show the away leg though. And to be honest with you, with FM25 being delayed as I'm recording this, and with the fact that we have got a lot of pressure on us this season, the club vision is still not looking particularly good. We're down in the C's again now. I think we're going to have to start playing a lot of the cup games on camera because that ultimately is where our season will be decided. So I'm going to get through the Chelsea game with a rotated side, and then we are going to be back for Juve and Villa away. The chance to get to a Champions League quarter-final again, and a chance to get to the FA Cup semi-final and start pushing towards a trophy, because there is a strong possibility that we will finish this season with just a Community Shield as it stands. Not looking good. We're a mile off in the league. And even though we've got to rotate against Chelsea, you'd argue we've still got to get a result. We're now 8th in the Premier League table. Yes, we've got 4 games in hand on teams that are 4, 5, 6, 7 points above us. But we're nowhere near Liverpool. We're nowhere near Spurs. And we've just got to try and be the best of the rest and make sure we've got Champions League football next year. Let me know down in the comments section how on earth we lost that Carabao Cup final. Let me know if you think we get through in the Champions League. Do I have to suck it up and just go defensive, try and grind out a result in that one? And can we progress in the FA Cup and at least win a trophy this year? Because Lord knows it ain't happening in the Premier League, is it? Let me know your thoughts on all of that, what I should prioritise down in the comments. Hopefully we'll get a good youth intake. It has been suggested that it might be a decent one this year, but again, it's only really strikers of any level that we're bringing through. And let me know what you made of that failing in the final again as we continue to desperately chase a Carabao Cup trophy. If you did enjoy this episode and more failure, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Are we at risk of the sack this year? Let me know what you think about that. If you want to stay up to date with everything across the channel, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. A big decision to make in the coach's head tomorrow. You can come and get involved in that one. Help me make the decision as to whether we end the save or take one of the job opportunities that may arise. We'll play through the summer and our job chase together. There's also links in the eye above to the Twitch channel and the football podcast where we've got loads of content across both. Really enjoying the live streams and the save we're doing there at the moment. So come and get involved if you haven't before. It's always plenty of fun. And I'll see you back here in a couple of days' time. As I'd suggest away at Juve, we need to get through for the sake of our job. The board expect quarterfinals at least in the Champions League. If we go out of this one as well, while still sitting 8th in the table, it could become a very tricky finish here. I'll see you next time to find out if it is or not, and whether our chase for a trophy will still be on the cards after the next one.